I'm going to show you how to wrap a plug. I made a video this weekend fishing on the boat, but unfortunately my battery died halfway through, so now I get to start all over. So I am going to wrap a Maglip, but it's very much the same concept for a Kwikfish. We only wrap the plugs for salmon, not so much for steelhead, just because the send doesn't really matter, and the steelhead plugs are a lot smaller and more difficult to wrap. So I have some sardine fillets here that have been in here for actually about two weeks, which is a little bit too long, so they're not that great, but I'm making do with what I have here. So you can either cure them after you fillet them, or we usually just put them in regular borax and fillet them, put them in the borax, at least let them sit for 24 hours. If you don't let them sit long enough, then they are pretty mushy and they're difficult to wrap. So I have my piece here. I'm going to measure it out on the plug, and I kind of just, you don't want to go past where the bill flattens out, and you don't want to go all the way to the color of the butt. So you really want it just right in the middle of the plug, and you want it centered right on the middle hook. So I'm going to measure it out a little bit, and I always measure it a little bigger than what I'm going to need, because you can always trim it down, but when it's too small, then it's too small, you can't add more. So I just cut a little chunk. This is way too fat, so I'm going to trim the sides a lot. And so it's kind of something like this. For a Kwikfish, I would wrap them a little bit thicker for like a K14 or K15, but for this size plug, this should be perfect. It's going to flatten out a lot, so it'll widen out to the size of the plug. So I want to make sure that my edges are all really, really nice and clean and straight, because I don't want a crooked sardine wrap on here, because then the plug's not going to run straight. So I have my little chunk here, and I'm going to slice it down the middle, about halfway up. This is so that I can put it on the hook, or in between the hook. So I slide it up like this, and I always put the open end towards the bill, and I start wrapping this end first, because it is a lot easier to hold the plug like this and get both the hooks out of the way while you get the sardine right on tact with the plug. We wrap our plugs with 2-pound test instead of stretchy thread, because it's clear and it's really thin, and the stretchy thread kind of takes the shine away if you have too many wraps. It really takes the shine away from the plug, and you basically see no color all right here, but you'll see once I'm done with the 2-pound line, the plug will look just like this. So I hold it, both hooks down. It'd be nice if I could wrap them that didn't already have hooks on them, but we've used this plug many times, so the hooks are still on it. So open end here, and I kind of just wrap it around a couple times pretty loose, just to get the plug in, or get the wrap in the right place. And then once it's kind of centered up and on there decent, then you can line it up. Make sure it stays in the center the whole time. You want to be adjusting it and making sure that it stays in the center. So I can tighten it down now and really tie it pretty tight to make sure that I'm going to be able to fish it a few times. It's not going to fall apart. And then I'm not sure how well it is to see, but I kind of crisscross it. So I'm going to go this direction, and then I'm going to come back this direction. I'm going to go this direction and come back. So I'm kind of making X's. And if I see some bigger pieces or chunks, then I'm going to specifically cross over those pieces to hold them down more. And as I'm wrapping, you want to just continuously adjust this wrap and really make sure that it stays centered. Once you get the front half kind of wrapped up real good, make your way to the back, and you want to make sure that you don't cross over this middle hook. So I'm going to put it back on the other side, I'm going to hold it like this and finish wrapping the tail piece. And then you'll kind of see it's going to look like it's lopsided, right? My back piece is smushing down, and there's way more on this end than this end. So as I wrap it tight, I'm going to get to the back, and I'm kind of just going to take this chunk off. So I pulled my line really, really tight through it, and this whole chunk just comes off. So that's why I make them, I start with them bigger than too small, because I can do that, but I can't really add more. So then I just keep wrapping and wrap all my chunks in, and I do the same thing where I am going one direction and then I go back the other direction to make sure that I'm holding all the pieces in, and constantly making sure that it stays centered. And while I'm holding it back here, I'm holding right this piece of sardine so that it doesn't slide or move as I'm wrapping the back part. So just keep wrapping it, catching all the chunks and getting them all in there really tight. And then I worked my way all the way back, and I make my way back up to the front, hold it like I was in the beginning, and I've crossed over the middle hook, go back up to the front. I take about a foot off, and so I have a foot of line here, a little more than a foot, and I just tie half hitches to lock it in. So I keep my fingers open, slide it through, pull it tight, and I do this pretty much until I run out of line. You want to be able to do at least 3. I just do it till I run out, or I get 5 or 6. We'll do one more. Okay, so I pull it tight. You can either break it off or trim the ends with your scissors, and make sure it's on there really good. It's on there really, really tight. I cannot move this piece over at all. It's nice and centered up. It's right in the center of the hook, right in the center of the plug. It's centered this way as well as this way. And then before I fish it, I want to scent it up and tune it with the wrap on it. You should tune your plugs before you put them out always, but you want to tune them with the wrap on them, because if it's a little bit skewed, then it's going to make your plug run skewed or crooked. So just tune it after you get the plug, and it's good. So see how we were talking about the shine? You can't even really tell that there's any line on it. If this was stretchy thread, it would all be white or pink or whatever color thread you had. So that's why we use that. And that is it. That is your wrapped plug. Thanks.